Time for another Man in Gray book review. Today's book is You Don't Own Me, The Court Battles That Exposed Barbie's Dark Side by Orly Lobel, published in 2019 by W. W. Norton. It's 304 pages. In 1998, Carter Bryant, a doll designer on leave from Mattel, was working in a mall in Kimberling City, Missouri. One day, on the way to his parents' home, he saw a group of teenage girls walking together. Bryant was struck by their confidence and fashion sense. Inspired by the girls, he began making sketches for a new line of dolls that looked nothing like the Barbies he'd worked on back at Mattel. 2 years later, Bryant sold his idea to MGA, a small company known primarily for distributing video games. 5 years later, Bratz had become the biggest selling doll line on Earth, carving out 40% of the market share that used to belong to Mattel. When executives at Mattel discovered that Bryant had originated the idea of Bratz, they launched a lawsuit against MGA claiming that they owned the rights to their biggest rival. After a lengthy trial, Mattel won, and the judge ordered MGA to cease manufacturing Bratz. But an appeals court judge vacated the verdict and ordered a new trial, after which MGA emerged victorious. The story of this legal battle is told in Orly Lobel's book, You Don't Own Me. Before your eyes glaze over with the thought of reading a book on contract law, you should know that Mattel versus MGA is a fascinating case, even for those who don't know a Barbie from a skipper. To say that the personalities involved in this book are colorful is an understatement. First, there's Carter Bryant, a starry-eyed dreamer temperamentally unsuited for the cutthroat corporate world. Bryant would wind up a broken man, unemployed and penniless. Next, Ruth Handler, who co-founded Mattel and got the inspiration for Barbie from a pornographic doll she encountered while vacationing in Switzerland. Handler, who named Barbie and Ken after her children, was eventually ousted from her own company after being convicted of securities fraud. Isaac Larian, an Iranian immigrant, co-founded MGA with his brother. Then he bought out his brother just before introducing the Bratz line, thus depriving his brother of billions of dollars. As a result, Larian faced a lawsuit from his own brother at the same time he was trying to fend off Mattel. Robert Eckert, the Mattel CEO, ran the toy company with the same rigid hand that he used as head of Kraft Foods. During the second trial, Eckert had trouble telling his own dolls from those of MGA. Tired of being stuck in traffic during the commute to the trial, he tried unsuccessfully to convince the county to let him land his corporate helicopter near the courthouse. And I must mention Romanian immigrant Alex Kaczynski, the appeals court judge who overturned the original verdict. Kaczynski's obsession with movies led him to hold monthly film parties at the Pasadena courthouse. It is Kaczynski's opinion of the effects of intellectual property law that the author is most in sympathy with. This is a story in which everyone loses. Mattel lost the case, and their reputation took a major hit when evidence emerged during the second trial of Mattel's widespread use of illegal industrial espionage. MGA won the case, but the huge legal expenses they ran up crippled the company, and sales of Bratz dolls began a steady decline. Mattel CEO Eckert was soon forced out of the company. But by far the biggest loser was Carter Bryant. His lover blew through all of Bryant's money, then left him. The controversy over the lawsuit left other toy companies reluctant to hire him, and the stress caused by testifying for days appeared to sap his creativity. Lobel concludes her book with a plea for the legal system to loosen up interpretation of intellectual property rights. She believes that large corporations are using intellectual property and copyright law not to protect their assets, but to stifle potential competition. In her view, Mattel became fossilized and unable to adapt to changes in consumers' tastes. They relied on legal threats and intimidation rather than innovation to hold on to their market share. You Don't Own Me is recommended for those interested in copyright and intellectual property issues, but it also provides a look inside the often merciless world of toy manufacturers, and it will appeal to anyone who enjoys a good yarn with over-the-top characters. The book is You Don't Own Me. The author is Orly Lobel. This has been another Man in Gray book review. Thanks for watching.